Hello and welcome to the Ink Mages podcast. We're so glad you've joined us. We have an exciting episode in store for you today. We have special guests here because we just all got back from Realm Makers and we're super excited to give you a recap of all the awesome stuff that happened at Realm Makers. We got Nathan Keys, Amanda Keys, and Lily B. Art with us.
So much fun getting to do Realm Makers, getting to meet you face to face for the first time. These are authors that we have known and followed and gotten to be a part of our author journey on Instagram. And we just got to meet each other in person at Realm Makers. And so I'm really excited for you to meet them and for us to talk about all of the fun things. So you guys, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves? Please let us know, our audience know who you are, since I already know who you are, but our audience know who you are and just all of the fun things. Maybe even a fun fantasy nerd fact would be great if you want to include that. Nathan, we'll go ahead and start with you.
All right. Hey guys, I'm Nathan Keys. I write epic fantasy adventure series, The Epic of Mirandel. My book looks like this. It's really big.
It's epic.
Yeah, I'm excited to be returning to the Ink Mages to talk about Realm Makers. And nerdy fact, let's see. My favorite video game franchise of all time is The Legend of Zelda.
I could have guessed that.
Definitely inspires my world building a little bit.
How about you, Amanda?
Hi, my name's Amanda Keys. I'm Nathan's sister-in-law, and I'm Lily's best friend. I'm not a published author yet, but I write contemporary romance. I've been working on this story idea for a very, very long time. Hoping to have my first draft done by the end of the year. Nerdy fun fact? Oh, yikes. There's probably so many, but I'll just go with what I know. I was a high school English teacher for 3 years, and I think my nerdiness comes in with loving Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson. My kids thought I was on crack teaching that. It's okay. But I love it. I have a lot of fun getting into kind of that old classic, more difficult texts to teach. But that's kind of my nerdy thing for now. So
I love that. It's a very, very bookish nerdy fact.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Lily B. Art. So I'm a character illustrator and a fantasy author. I have my fantasy novel, The Light Among the Shadows, that was published last year, and I'm working on a prequel for it now. Nerdy fun fact. I just love animation a lot, and Tangled's my favorite. I tell people that movie,
Yes.
my books would not exist without it. I literally have lanterns tattooed on my shoulder. So
I love that.
I'm going to say something
I'm going to say something that might upset some listeners. I'm not a big Disney person. I'm not, but Tangled is my ultimate favorite. So I'm definitely with you on that one. Even my husband likes Tangled. We're just totally, Flynn Rider all the way.
Yes.
Flynn Rider's iconic.
He
really is. And then there's the horse. I mean,
yes,
for me,
Maximus.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, definitely inspiration for Loki there in my book. So I love that.
Let's go.
Right.
I love Loki.
Yeah. You guys, Realm Makers was epic. I mean, we could talk about the venue even all by itself was very magical for hosting the Realm Makers. But let's just start the conversation about what was your biggest takeaway from Realm Makers this year?
A big take would be just how big the community was, how encouraging it was, because it was our first time. And so I've heard Realm Makers on social media for the past couple of years and seen past winners and past people go there, but to actually experience and see all these writers and artists who are in the Christian speculative field was amazing. And it's all really good quality books are out there. So now I have, my TBR is way too big now. I'm wanting to read all these books that were winners. So that's one big takeaway. And I really want to continue forging those relationships with the people that I met there.
Yeah, one of the things that I loved about Realm Makers, I think I've been to a few secular events where there were authors, and this one was different and unique in the way that people were not trying to position, like be better than. Everybody was really supportive of one another. You could feel this openness. There's room at the table for everyone kind of feeling. And there was just this feeling of happiness that you're there, that I'm there, that everybody is there putting their books out, and a general feeling of cheering you on, which was unique to this event. And I love that. I love that people were excited to see what we had, that you could go to another booth and really feel invited in. And just the people there were always laughing and smiling and just having a genuinely good time. And that felt different, and it felt really, really good. On top of the fact that it was at Union Station, and the ceiling had a new there was what would you
light
call it?
show. I
A
don't know
light
what to
show
call it.
on the
A light show.
ceilings. Yeah, every hour starting at 5:00, and that was one of my very first introductions to Realm Makers before it even started, and it was a very magical atmosphere. I thought that was really great.
Yeah, so this was my third time coming to Realm Makers in total, second time doing the expo, and I only focused on the expo this year. So I'm gonna say my takeaway this time was just that realization that Realm Makers for Christian speculative fantasy authors is a safe place to learn and grow.
Absolutely.
Because like Angela said, you're not in competition with other people. Everyone's really nice. Everyone loves Jesus and dragons, and so we can like put our best foot forward in displaying our books and doing pitches and building expo tables. But at the same time, we can go ask other people for advice, like, hey, you've been doing this longer than I have. Like, what would you recommend I do about pitching this way or displaying my table this way? And it's just really cool that we're all in it together. We're all rooting for each other's success, and it's just a very tight-knit, exciting community to be a part of.
And I felt like you really walked away with community. You walked away with people on your side, and it wasn't just followers, right? It was actual community. And it is inspiring. I think I was going around taking pictures of people's booths going, how could I do this differently next year? Or how could I really glean from this? And you felt permission to do that, to kind of grow and figure things out. And it was really great.
I think my takeaway is just like seeing how like the purpose of it and how like God's hand was just clearly all over it. Like I wasn't even supposed to go to Realm Makers. It was a very last minute decision. Like me and Amanda, like she said, we're best friends, and she mentioned it. And I was like, what if I went with you guys? And like Nathan and Amanda were both like really nice to let me come and help with Nathan's expo table. I just met so many amazing people, like so many other artists and authors and creatives, and like as Nathan was saying, just everyone was cheering you on, and like it was just it just stands out from all the other events I've done in the past. So that's definitely my takeaway from it. Yeah, I want to try to like apply to be in the expo next year with my book if possible, but if I don't get in, then I still want to come.
Yeah, this was my second year. So last year, it was kind of I feel like it was a little last minute for us last year too, but Nathan wanted to do the conference and the expo. So my husband and I went to take care of Nathan's booth for most of the time last year. And I don't know what is, I think it's just natural. Like I'm very shy and very nervous, but like everyone was so nice. Like, and what was so funny was like when Tyler and I were running Nathan's booth, of course, we're very obviously not the author. But people still wanted to talk and ask us like, oh, who are you? Like, why are you doing this for him? And I'm like, oh, I'm his sister-in-law. This is his brother, my husband. And they were like so mind blown by that. They're like, that is so sweet that you would take the time to like make this a family affair and come do this with him. It was exhausting, but like in the best way, because everyone wants to talk to you. Everyone wants to meet you. And that was the same vibe I got this year for sure. Like even not being at the booth as much, because I knew a lot more people from last year, and then also my Instagram community that I've kind of built because of Realm Makers.
Yeah.
Getting to actually meet like you guys in person for the first time was so magical and amazing. Getting to meet some other people. Yeah. They're so sweet. Like everyone's just so sweet and encouraging. And again, like I sometimes feel like a fraud because I'm not a fantasy author. I'm like, why am I here? But everyone still like wants to get to know you and like get to like, why are you here? What's up? And like I think one of my favorite highlights that kind of just showcases the community's generosity was Lily and I were giving away copies of her book, and people were like, "Why are you giving these away? I don't want to like take it for free." Like, and I was like, "No, like they're prepaid for. Like you can take one." And people still like were giving her money and like didn't want to take it for free.
Aw.
So
Love
like
that.
people are genuinely like, again, we believe in each other. We believe in our giftings, our callings, our what we're doing for the Lord. And that's what really matters, is that everyone constantly has the mindset that this is for the Lord.
Right.
And that is huge, because like you guys were saying, there's a ton of secular events where you just don't get that. You don't get that chance to talk about your faith, your connection to God, and how that connects you to each other. So I love Realm Makers. So I can't wait to go back next year.
Same. I really want to go back.
Yes, me too, definitely.
Let's do
You
it.
see the value in it once you go.
Yes.
And why you would want to keep going and being a part of the community and just what's happening there. One of my favorite things was there were families. They weren't even authors or writers, but families that were going to the conference just so they could buy good books for their kids and their family.
Right.
There was even one lady who was saying how whatever books she couldn't buy while she was there, she would go around and get the bookmarks and the postcards and all the things so she could scan those QR codes later for Christmas time. And I just loved seeing that this was an exciting place for families to go to find good reads for their kids. So you guys, let's talk about the Banquet. What was your experience of the Banquet? Let's talk all things Banquet.
Well, let's say that Nathan's costume was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't seen it, go on Instagram and check it out. It was pretty great.
Every time he walked away, and this, like, my favorite color is green. So every time he walked away and that green cloak is just like
It's just
floating,
billowy.
I'm like, a king is in the house. Like, it was just regal.
It felt pretty powerful, that's for sure. And my sword too.
So seeing everybody in costume was just wonderful, and the food was awesome, and then seeing everybody win their award, and some being emotional and some just you got a taste of who they are and the journey that the story has taken. It impacted me on some of them, and I want to like read your book now because I got that personal connection.
Yes, so me and Amanda were dressing up as the main character in my novel. Her name's Brenda, and we also had a little bird, like Stella, the pet bird. I already actually had that costume. I wore it for like my friend's Halloween party last year. So like when Amanda was telling me, it's like, oh, you need to get a costume for a book character for the Banquet. I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. And she's like, let's match, let's do it together. So that was really fun. Funny story, like the day before I left for Realm Makers, like I couldn't find the flower crown I bought for it. So I had to like go to all these stores trying to find hair flower clips, and I found some. So I think the costumes came together nice, and like all three of us were wearing green. It was funny. Like when we were in the hotel room, we're like, we're all in the green.
Wasn't even planned, it just happened.
Well, when you see that picture of us, we're all wearing like neutral colors.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
we're like cream, beige, green, like forest green, and brown.
Looks so good.
By the way, Lily, I have read 5 chapters in, so I'm a lot more familiar now with the character that you dressed up as. I super love that. It was so fun seeing everybody dressed up, and then there was the costume parade, which had like 50 plus people in it. It was really epic.
So fun.
It was, and I almost didn't dress up. I'll be honest. I wanted to have fun, but I was sitting there thinking, how am I going to pack a costume? Like it was more than I could think. And I'm just glad that I ended up coming up with something and wearing something, because it was too much fun to not participate.
And it was awesome seeing your book highlighted as a finalist for the horror paranormal thriller. So that was so exciting to see your book get honored as the most honorable mention. So
Yes.
it was wonderful to share that moment with you.
Yes, honestly, I was sitting there. I was so nervous because I was worried about what I was going to say if my name was called, like what would I say when I got up there? And I'm not one to be super nervous when I get in front of people, but that was definitely zinging me. And I was sitting there, and I'll be honest. I was going, please don't get most honorable mention. I just wanted to
Oh.
win so bad. And yet when I did, I was just so pleased to be amongst so many amazing books, and just to get to be highlighted and know that my book is going to be seen, and all the work that I did to write that story and all the emotions that were put into that story. It was amazing. And I was so privileged to just be up there with all of those amazing books. And I cannot wait to check out the one that won that category, Forever, is the title of the book. And I definitely want to read it. The cover was fire, and to have my book mentioned beside that one, I mean, you can't help but walk away. And I was instantly relieved because I was no longer nervous. I was no longer going to have to go up on the stage and say something. And but it was such a great time. Just the whole experience of it was, and I got to have these amazing, stickers to put on my book. People definitely came to the booth to buy it, and that was fun. I wish I had brought a few more books, but then again, for those of you who are thinking of going to Realm Makers, figuring out how to get all of your books there is a little bit of a trial. And so there's only so many books you can bring. But I think I brought just enough. And that was really, 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 really a great privilege to get highlighted there. So what would you guys say, how the conference Realm Makers helps authors maybe beyond just selling books?
I would say the networking and connections are huge. You meet people there who are like in your genre, in your field. They have so much advice to share and offer, and you can just kind of just meet people and talk, and it removes the loneliness of being an artist, being an author, and you realize you're in it all together, and it's just so encouraging and inspiring to just be there to absorb everything that's all the advice, all the kindness, all the fan girling, I guess, everywhere.
Yes, it does
happen. Is there a neutral term for fan?
We know you fanboy too, Nathan. You
fanboy, fangirl.
Yeah, come on.
Well, I think the workshops also are great for strengthening your craft. Even somebody, I'm an editor, I'm a line editor, and I went to a workshop that Kathy Tyers taught. She's an amazing author, and it was on deep viewpoint. And I already know a lot of the stuff, but she presented it in such a way that I thought, now that I could teach this. Now I have a better way to explain this, like in our writing group, because sometimes I don't always have the information the best way to come across. But now I'm like, oh, she laid it out so well, and I got takeaway just from that on a line level of writing viewpoint for like in our group. So yeah, I think if you can go to the conference and hit those sessions, that is a huge takeaway, because it's across the board. There's so many different things. There's marketing, how to get to publish your book. When you're writing and you feel lonely, how do you get out of being stuck? Like, so many different topics. So I think you can hit a lot of different ones, and you'll get a huge takeaway just from those.
I think it's kind of what Nathan was saying, which is like the networking and the connections stuff. Like, I didn't really get to go to the conference or anything since I was doing the expo. So that's kind of like my side that I saw, was just getting to connect with other authors or like publishers or creatives, and just everyone being so supportive and kind. I mean, there's so many people there who were like interested in my book and my art, and just being like so kind to me. And I just felt so like showered by like support and like love while I was there, and it was really amazing. I'm sure the conferences and everything's amazing too. Hopefully one day I'll get to kind of see what that side looks like.
Well, and that's the kind of cool thing, is if you don't you're still benefiting being there at the expo, or if you're doing the conference, like there is a reason to be there. And I think there's a wisdom in doing one or the other, and maybe not both at the same time, because there's a lot of standing and running around, and just a lot is going on. But definitely both have their benefits. But I mean, one of my favorite things even was the takeaway of getting to meet Nathan Keys in person, Lily and Amanda in person, and getting to hug them and really get to know them. And for those of you who you need to go over to Lily's Instagram and check out her art. It is absolutely beautiful. If you're looking for an artist for characters in your book, I'm definitely going to be recommending her to a lot of people. I may even hire her myself. So definitely be checking that out. And that's the benefit, right? That we get to know each other and really see what beautiful things that we are capable of and how we can really support one another. And I find that just absolutely fantastic.
That's my thoughts on it too. Like, again, I'm not a fantasy author. Like, I wasn't even really a fantasy reader. I know, I'm so bad. But like Nathan, when Nathan published his book, that's what got me into it, because I was like, I'm not good with, like, I don't know. It's just typically not what I read. But his book, like, very much changed my life, and same with Lily's. And so it's a pleasure to come alongside them and in my own way, and to be able to help and support them. And again, like, through I don't know if I'll ever do the conference, just because, again, I'm not a fantasy or speculative author, but I got to meet, like, so many people that have poured into me, like both of you, Angela and Stephanie. Like, you've poured into me so much with your wisdom and your support and your love on, again, I'm just writing something completely different, but there's still that connection and community when it comes to being an author. It can be very lonely. And again, like last year, attending the expo, because Nathan was kind of off most of the time during the conference, that kind of left me to make those connections. And I met a lot of amazing people that I'm still in contact with. I'm a professional proofreader, and through the Banquet and the awards last year, I met Amber Dalen, A.M. Dalen. Her debut, Where Darkness Cannot Follow, was a finalist last year. And I that book also changed my life. Such a good story. So being able to work with her, again, through her, I've met other Realmies that are also incredible and so supportive. There were a couple that couldn't make it this year, and they were messaging me on Instagram. They're like, Amanda, I want to hug you when I see you next year. Like, I'm like, I haven't even met you in person, but you're so sweet to me. Like, they've been so supportive. And again, they don't typically read what I'm writing, but there's still, like, that joy in supporting each other when it comes to writing, because it's hard. It's really hard. So
well, that's an interesting thing that you brought up too, because what I've noticed is, yes, if you're going to have a booth or something, you definitely, if you're going to be selling books, you want to be a fantasy author, sci-fi, speculative, because the event is, sci-fi, fantasy, speculative fiction. But I think it still benefits fiction authors who are writing other things to be part of the conference and to be amongst that community of other fiction authors. So for those of you who are maybe writing contemporary romance, or you're writing something, a thriller or PI or anything that is maybe not speculative fiction, I still think it benefits to go and rub shoulders with this community and to meet other authors in this space. Because honestly, I don't know anything else like Realm Makers. I had somebody ask me yesterday, do you know of any other big Christian events for authors? And I don't, not to the level and degree that Realm Makers exists. So it's really what an amazing space for authors to be a part of, really, regardless of the fiction that they're writing. So I really, really, really love that.
Yeah, we had an author friend that was with us who doesn't even write, like, speculative, but she attended a lot of the sessions and found a lot of takeaways. So, I mean, I think there was a session even on writing romance.
Yeah.
How do you get that, like, yearning in, but, like, where's the line that you keep it at, for no spice? So there were definitely sessions that have nothing to do with writing fantasy or sci-fi, but again, if you're aspiring author or you're needing help with, like, marketing, there was lots of sessions just on that. So definitely good for just the conference.
Let's just talk a minute about the fact that myself, Stephanie, and Nathan all got to be panelists, which, what a privilege. All these sessions that were available for people to attend, and we got to be some of the mouthpieces to encourage authors and writers. And we got to talk about villains. We got to talk about mythic storytelling. And that was honestly such a fun space, because the three of us, we've gotten to do this podcast together a few times, which has been fun, but never something in person like that. And honestly, I have to say, the synergy was epic. It was so fun. The things that both Stephanie and Nathan said were just, it was so great to be able to talk about how to write darkness that reflects the light and really free people up. And you could see people's eyes just really being inspired. And it was really fun to get to be in that space to talk about Darth Vader and all of our favorite villains. So talk a little bit about just the panel and your experience with that.
So in both panels, it was just really cool to, just basically open up these conversations about things that we just love so much. And it's like a part of us, the mythic storytelling and crafting memorable villains is just like, once we get started talking about that, it's like, we could do this all day. Like,
Yeah,
like do
for
like
real.
5 panels on villains. um, but then also like to invite the audience into that conversation and kind of like engage with them, have, ask them questions or have them ask us questions, and it kind of guides the conversation in a way that's organic and inspiring for everyone. And you kind of go into a panel as a panelist. By the way, this is my cat. So you go into a panel thinking like, oh yeah, we're gonna, ask these questions and conquer these topics or whatever. But then the conversation just gets a life of its own, and it's just really fun to be a nerd and share, what, these are my favorite villains and why, and kind of understanding why is that, like deep down on a creator writing level, like what makes these people stand out, these characters, or what makes these stories last through generations and stay in our memories, and to talk about that stuff is just so much fun.
Yeah, what was neat to see was the moments that resonated with the audience, because we had pretty much a packed room with the villains panel, and our first one with from Tolkien to Star Wars, why mythic stories resonate and stay with us, was pretty full too. But the moments that I felt like they really leaned in and connected was when we shared like our personal journeys or the things that, like, especially Angela, she got so passionate at one moment, and I could just see everybody was like, yes, keep talking, keep talking. Like, we've never heard this angle before. I don't know if many authors talk about like, what does it mean to write the darkness and to expose it by shining a light. And so I think there was a lot of takeaway for the attendees, and that was the most rewarding thing from it, was afterwards, was people coming to our booth and saying what stood out to them, what they loved, and how they appreciated that we touched on these topics. I was at the bookstore at one point, and a guy's like, "Thank you so much for being on that panel. What you said, la da da da." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay, awesome." Like, sometimes we can be so, did what I say came across well? Like, because in our head we might be more critical, but the fact that the things that stood out to them was a takeaway moment for them. And so like that definitely was a big takeaway for me, just that it had impact.
It was fun having people after the panels come to our booths and want to talk more about all of the different things that we discussed, and just a fun opportunity. I hope we get to do it again. I really do, because that was a really fun highlight for me. Even though I was nervous about it, it was really, really something fun that I'm glad we got to do. All right, you guys, we're going to do a lightning round, which means we're going to just, I'm going to ask some questions, and you guys like popcorn. Let's just do some fun details about what we experienced in Roundmakers. So the one is, favorite book you picked up at the conference. Mine was definitely Lily B. Art.
I was gonna say Nathan's book, Chosen. I'm like at chapter 15, I think. Amanda, I just got to Scourge's character. I remember texting
No.
Oh, it's my favorite. I love Scourge. Yes. Let's go.
Yeah.
He's the baby. We love him.
But that's what I've been reading like nonstop since I've got back from Roundmakers. So it's been really good so far.
My favorite, I haven't started it, but it's Firebreak, and that's the new book by Kathy Tyers. And I got to meet her after I attended her first session. I got to go up and kind of like fangirl her, because I first read her books when I was in high school. So I told her, I'm like, I did a book report on your Firebird book to my literature class, and she just could not believe it. She was laughing, I was laughing. So what a moment. I cannot wait to get back into her space opera series. That was a kind of, she told me it was like her fanfic for Star Wars, because she loves Star Wars. And then lo and behold, she went on to write Star Wars books. So beloved story. I cannot wait to get back into that world.
Right. So I didn't pick up a lot of physical books this time as I was doing my expo round, but the book that I'm the most excited to read, I think, that I made connections with at the conference is Fates Defiant, which won an award in, I believe it was the general fantasy category. So that's on my TBR. I'm going to do it in my next ebook read after I'm done reading what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Same for me. Like Fate's Defiance been on my radar for a hot second, and I've been so busy, but getting to meet Brigitte in the airport was so amazing. And then I was kind of having a rough moment at the banquet, and I stepped out to kind of take some space. And Claire, the co-author on Fate's Defiant, came up and checked on me, which was really sweet. That genuinely meant a lot to me. And I know, like, they were both saying how winning was very nerve-wracking, and that, you know, again, like, it's surreal, but just getting to talk to them both a little bit, I was like, yeah, you guys totally deserve it. Like, so I'm super excited to read Fates Defiant and pick up a copy. I picked up Beneath the Crescent Shadow, which I'm super excited to read. And yeah, I'm super excited. And then my friend Melody gifted me a copy of Mortal Queens by Victoria McCombs, and I've heard her books are really good, so I'm excited to dive into that one for sure too.
All right, next question. Favorite costume or cosplay? Nathan Key's Elias. I'm sorry.
I know, that's my favorite too. The armor or the regal look.
That makes me happy. I'm sure it'll make Amber happy as well.
Yes,
to hear that.
yes. Shout out to Am Dallin. Read her books. They're amazing.
I have to say that was one of my favorites too, because I'm the co-leader of Team Elias, because I'm the only person to have an Elias inspired tattoo. And so it was that was really cool to see, because Nathan pulls it off. And we were both gonna initially, before Lily was gonna go to Realm Makers, we were gonna try to both dress up as Elias, because last year we all dressed up as Connor. And I was like, I'm so sorry, I will not do Elias justice. I will be the most wrong looking Elias out and out there. I cannot do that. So I'm glad that we got to switch it up.
Get the tape on beard. That'll help.
No, we were literally planning how to do facial hair, and I was like, nah, dude, it's gonna be so bad. But there was that Rosalina costume that I kept seeing.
Yeah.
She was walking around. She looks so good. Rosalina is my favorite. She's my main, in for Mario Party and stuff. So I was like, Queen, love her.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Rosalina too. Like, me and Amanda kept seeing her walking around Expo, and I was like, oh, she's so cool. I just think cosplay is so cool. Like, I always wanted to do it, so it was nice to get to dress up as one of my characters. So,
One of the fun one was that whole Mario crew, the Super Mario.
Yeah.
They cracked me up.
I saw a group of Star Wars cosplays, and they were all very good. Like, there was a lore accurate Mandalorian with the shiny armor and little Grogu stuffed animal.
That's true.
I personally have always wanted to go all out in a Star Wars costume. I have not had the opportunity to do that yet. Something like a full clone trooper outfit that's super realistic. But it's a bucket list item one day. I'll get one of those.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Number of coffees consumed. I don't know if I could answer how many I did. I'm a one cup of coffee a day kind of person. I was not at Realm Makers. And I will tell you that there was a moment where Stephanie and I needed a cup of coffee so badly. We were going to pass out at our booth. We were so tired. And the coffee shop was closed.
You couldn't there was a wedding.
There was the wedding.
The lobby was closed.
So chaotic.
There was nowhere to get coffee. And Sherry Ward was our hero, went up to the restaurant that was closed and said, could you please brew a pot of coffee? And they did. And thank goodness, because I think I might have passed out without an extra coffee.
I was ready to keel over, and I don't think that's ever happened before. My brain literally shut down. I was talking to a gal, and the words just stopped. I was almost like, I need
words got hard.
They got hard. I can't do more than 2 words. And I just went and sat down. I'm like, I need coffee. This will solve the problem. And of course, we got coffee thanks to Sherry, but like I think Angela and a few people got to see a side of me that they probably never have, where I get super giggly, like walking up the stairs to get to the restaurant. I'm like just so giggly. I could not stop laughing. My brain was shutting down, but as soon as I got the coffee, it was like perked back up, and I was able to finish the expo.
I feel like one of my eyes was drooping. I was going like this. And then people would ask me just basic stuff like, what do you do? And I'm like,
I don't know.
We have books. We have books. That's
look at what I have in front of me, try to decipher, because my words aren't going to happen at the moment. How about you guys?
Well, there's like a Starbucks down the street from the hotel, so we walked there every morning that we like.
What?
So I only had one coffee every day, but like I kept having really bad crashes at night where I got really hungry. Like Amanda could tell you, like I was just like, I can't do anything until I eat something. Like it got bad. Like the first night, I mean, not the first night, the night after the banquet, but I just had one cup of coffee. I know Amanda had more than that, but
No, literally, like, when you guys asked the question, I just went out of frame. I'm like, we're not gonna look at me because
Wait.
like the only acceptable crimes that you can commit at Realm Makers are caffeine related because it's exhausting. Like this year was not as bad for me as last year. Last year, I literally think I saw my soul leave my body multiple times. I was so tired. Like I was so tired. I remember, I don't know if it was I think it was the first day. Yeah, after the expo, Tyler and I somehow by like a miracle got back to our hotel room. And I just melted. Like I didn't make it to the bed. I was on the floor. And I was like, I haven't been this tired since like I don't even know when. Like I can't function. But I think I probably drank a lot more coffee last year, but this year I was smarter and I just made them stronger. Lily was like, why are you putting 8 shots of espresso in one coffee? And I'm like, I was a teacher for 3 years. It does nothing to me. It's okay. So it's just the semblance of like that I'm awake. So but a lot of coffee is 100% acceptable at Realm Makers. So
you win the coffee award.
Yes, you do.
Most
coffee award.
Coffee beverages.
I have Amanda to thank for bringing me coffee every morning from their Starbucks walks. I would go to the expo to like kind of open up and everything, and you know, I had my little energy shot packets that I take when I travel because I do travel a lot, so I try to keep things, you know, compact. But that's not going to get me through the whole day, so I need my latte with extra espresso shot in there.
I'm a really good intern. I'll bring you. You kept saying bring me a grande. I'm like, okay, so a venti with an extra shot. Got you.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
I wish I knew there was a Starbucks close enough to walk to. We'd asked people, like even at the hotel, we're like, is there anywhere? And they're like, well, they kind of made it sound like there was a Starbucks, but it was way far away. And we're like, well, we can't drive to it, so.
But apparently Amanda walked.
Yes,
she made it happen.
She made it happen.
It was like a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
No, that's not bad at all. Okay, notes for next year, guys. Notes for next year. If it's going to be at Union Station, which would be epic. Because that venue was really great.
It will.
Okay.
At the end of July.
Yay. I'm excited. Okay. Last question, you guys. One word that describes Realm Makers. Your whole experience.
Say purposeful.
That's a good word.
Magical.
Connection.
Inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Connection.
I
would say inclusive.
Yes.
Like, everyone's welcome. And it just, again, they make sure everyone, no matter if you're shy or you're introvert, extrovert, whatever you're doing with your author journey, artist journey, you're just welcome there. So
yeah, I love that. It might be exhausting. You might need extra coffee. If you're an introvert, peopling will make you tired. But in the end, worth it. And definitely a space that authors should go, and worth the investment, worth the time to go and meet some of these incredible people and authors and writers and readers who are coming to find the stories that keep them reading. So I love this. All right. So Nathan, Lily, Amanda, we want our listeners to be able to find you and find more information about you, where they can connect with you. Nathan, let's start with you.
Yeah, so I am on Instagram and Facebook at Nathan Keys 23. I am also on YouTube at Nathan Keys 23. That's where you'll find this podcast most likely.
Yes.
Yeah, and my website, nathankeys.com. It's a general like one-stop shop to learn about me and my books. Links to Amazon, all that stuff are also there.
I am primarily on Instagram. You can find me at Amanda Marie Keys. That's pretty much where I exist most of the time. So there it is.
And you'll start seeing some previews and highlights from the book that she is writing, and the characters illustrated by Lily. So definitely go check that out. And Lily.
Yes, I'm also primarily on Instagram. You can find it at Lily, Lily .b_art. I also have a link tree on my Instagram that leads to my website and TikTok. And you can also find my books on Amazon or wherever else they're sold online. And on my website is just information about me and my books, or if you want to contact me about doing illustrations for you, I would love to.
Amazing. Any final thoughts, Stephanie?
This was awesome.
Yeah,
I'm so
for real.
glad that I got to give you guys hugs in person. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the best. And hanging out, getting food together, and just at the end, always connecting and sharing the banquet table. It was wonderful. Just such a highlight.
Absolutely. So will we all be trying to go next year?
Hope so.
Yes. Definitely. You guys, thank you so much for doing this roundtable with us, the Ink Mages. It's such a fantastic time to have gotten to meet you and to also gotten to do Realm Makers together, and now being able to do this together. It's just a fun opportunity. For our listeners, leave us a comment, leave us a like. Let us know what you would like to hear the Ink Mages talk about next on our program. We'll see you next time.